State Senator Jim Runestad, the Republican from White Lake, is on our AT&T line right now as we come from you right across from the Capitol, and we're very pleased to be with you this morning. Thanks for being available.
Thank you, Michael Patrick. Glad to be here.
We know that in this economy, sometimes people do their shopping on their laptop or their smartphone, and a package will show up on the door, and it's got a little smiley face on it. And I imagine for the criminal element, sometimes opportunity makes a thief. You might be walking down the street or driving down the street, you see a little box on someone's porch with a smile on it. There are people who will walk up on the porch and nab those things?
Oh, yes. That is really an explosion of that type of crime. And the more we are moving to online shopping and getting away from going to a mall to do the shopping, we have more and more of these packages arriving on the porch, and these so-called porch pirates. Sometimes they are lone individuals, sometimes they're organized, and often they're two to a vehicle, and they drive through a neighborhood, and they spot these, and they saunter on up and get the packages and saunter on back, just like they were picking up their package and loading their car full and taking them back to their home and open them up like a Christmas present for all of the stuff that they've stolen to see what might be of interest to them. And it is exploding to the degree that Amazon alone last year in just Michigan had over 17,000 packages stolen.
Wow, and I guess it is a surprise for them since they don't know what's in it. They open it up and see what they got. And who's liable then if the package never shows up? Who's bearing the burden of the theft?
I got to believe that it is going to be Amazon is going to probably, just to keep the customer happy, is probably going to...
Because the customer would say, right, I never got it, right? What do you mean? And nobody knows what happened to it.
Yeah, exactly. Amazon is going to, be able to document that they dropped it off, but, the customer is unhappy, and that I'm sure the company is going to try to keep a happy customer because they've lost a package. They don't want to lose the customer, and is probably going to reship that item again.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I guess, is there a way that you can say I have to be there and sign for it? But that slows down the whole system, and I don't think that would quite work that way, would it?
No, it really wouldn't. But I tell you, with these the cameras now, when I was going through the district in the summertime, at least in some of the suburban areas like Novi here in Oakland County, it seemed about 25% of the homes had these cameras now on the porch steps. So the only way a person can hide their identity is wearing a mask to try to do this. And then the saunter up like you're the owner isn't going to work if you've got a mask on and you're running around the neighborhood. And all likelihood the police called on you there. The problem that we're dealing with is that at the federal level, unless it's worth at least $1,000 and can be proven that, they're not going to go after this at all. And even if it's over $1,000, they're still not going to go after these crimes because they simply do not have the resources. You're not going to be able to call the U.S. Postal Service or FBI and get a special agent assigned to your stolen package. They don't have that kind of resources. And the other unfortunate thing is it's not a state crime to do mail theft. So the only thing that they can be charged with in most cases is simple larceny. But a lot of what's going on is they go through, they'll drive up to the mailbox, take all the mail out, and they're looking for either ID theft or checks. And if the police catch them with a check or a bunch of checks, they don't have value unless they're cashed. So it's not even larceny. They can't be charged with even larceny. So this bill says that if they steal any kind of mail, public or private, that they're going to do a misdemeanor charge and do up to a year in jail and up to $1,000 on the second charge. It's up to 5 years in jail and $5,000, and then it increments higher if they do it again. So now local law enforcement can actually go after these thieves under a state law on mail theft, which there is currently not that bill. So the law enforcement and prosecutors have said that this is a huge tool for them to be able to start going after these individuals and really start depressing these numbers in terms of the theft that's going on.
Okay, well, thanks for drawing. I mean, I didn't realize it was rampant, but I guess it is, and hopefully that would be some sort of deterrent to stop people from doing it. I read a story, I don't think it was in Michigan, but there was somewhere where somebody nabbed a package off a porch like that, and just as you're saying, the family had a camera, so they spotted the person doing it, and the person had their work ID badge hanging on their coat, and they were able to zoom in on the badge and get the name of the person. That's the best case scenario, I guess, but it is sad that we have to have law enforcement running around on something as time-honored as having a package delivered to your home, just like with the U.S. mail, isn't it?
It certainly is sad. It's just a sign of the times. But I tell you, once these individuals start realizing the law enforcement is going to be looking at the documentation, like I said, more and more of these porches have a camera. And then if it's a local person, or you might you'll see the car, might even get a license plate off the car, it's going to be harder and harder for these individuals to duck and hide once law enforcement starts making a concerted effort. And they said, everything I heard, they brought this to me, prosecutors and law enforcement said, we need this as a tool. We simply cannot go on after these cases under simple larceny.
Well, thank you for acting on it. We'll keep in touch. Jim Runestad, State Senator from White Lake, with Michael Patrick Shiels.